1 month is all it takes to get back on track. What if I told you the person you want to become is not years away from you? What if the distance between your broken routine and your greatest version is only *1 month of serious commitment? In the next few minutes, you will discover why 30 days of focused action can completely change the direction of your life. If you are willing to stop negotiating with your excuses, before you walk away from this message, ask yourself one question. Am I really tired of my situation, or have I become comfortable with it? Because sometimes the biggest prison is not outside of us. It is the pattern we repeat every single day. The power of a 30-day reset begins with understanding one simple truth. Your life does not change because time passes. Your life changes because your decisions change. Many people spend months, even years, waiting for the perfect moment to rebuild themselves. They believe they need a new year, a new opportunity, a new environment, or some dramatic event before they can finally take control. But the reality is that transformation often begins quietly, with one powerful decision followed by consistent action. One focused month can become the bridge between the person you are today and the person you have always wanted to become. 30 days may seem small compared to a lifetime, but never underestimate what can happen when a person becomes intentional. A single month of discipline can break old patterns, restore confidence, and create a new direction. Think about how quickly life can move when you are not paying attention. 30 days can pass while you repeat the same habits, think the same thoughts, and make the same excuses. At the end of that month, you may find yourself exactly where you started. But imagine using those same 30 days differently. Imagine waking up with purpose, choosing your actions carefully, and refusing to return to the habits that have been holding you back. The calendar does not change, but you do. A reset is not about becoming perfect overnight. It is about becoming aware. It is about looking honestly at your life and asking yourself, what needs to change? Sometimes the answer is your routine. Sometimes it is your mindset. Sometimes it is the way you spend your time or the people you allow to influence you. The first step toward a better life is accepting that your current results are connected to your daily choices. For 30 days, you can decide to stop living on autopilot. You can decide that your mornings will no longer begin with distraction, but with direction. You can decide that your energy will no longer be wasted on things that do not build your future. You can decide that your attention is valuable and you will protect it. Most people do not fail because they lack ability. They fail because they lack consistency. They start with excitement, but stop when the excitement disappears. They make promises to themselves, but break those promises when things become uncomfortable. A 30-day reset teaches you something powerful. You are capable of keeping commitments to yourself. Every day in that month becomes a small victory. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen your character. Every time you finish something you wanted to quit, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your temporary emotions. This is how confidence is built. Confidence is not something you simply find. It is something you create through evidence. When you consistently take action, your mind begins to believe in you again. Many people lose confidence because they have spent too long disappointing themselves. They say they will change, but they do not follow through. After enough time, they stop trusting their own promises. A 30-day reset gives you the opportunity to rebuild that trust. You do not need to transform everything at once. In fact, trying to change everything overnight often leads to frustration. Start with small victories. Improve your sleep, improve your focus, improve your health, improve the way you speak to yourself, improve one area at a time. Small improvements repeated daily become powerful results. The beauty of a reset is that it reminds you that your past does not control your future. Maybe you wasted time. Maybe you made mistakes. Maybe you lost your way. But today is still available. The next 30 days are still yours. You cannot change yesterday, but you can influence what happens next. A month of commitment can reveal a version of yourself that you have forgotten existed. It can remind you that you are not stuck. You are not finished. You are not defined by your worst moments. You are defined by the actions you choose moving forward. The question is not whether 30 days are enough to completely change every part of your life. The deeper question is this: what kind of person will you become if you finally give yourself 30 days of your full effort? Because once you experience what consistency feels like, you will realize something important. The greatest change was never outside of you. The power was always in the decision to begin. The greatest transformations in life rarely come from one massive decision. They come from the small choices we make repeatedly when nobody is watching. People often search for the one moment that will change everything, the one opportunity that will open every door, or the one burst of motivation that will finally make them successful. But the truth is much deeper. Your future is being created every single day through the small actions you choose to repeat. A person's life is not built in one afternoon. It is built through patterns. The way you think every morning, the way you spend your time, the habits you practice, and the choices you make when facing challenges all become pieces of the life you are creating. Small actions may look insignificant in the moment, but when repeated consistently, they become powerful forces that shape your identity. Imagine a person who decides to improve just a little every day. They read a few pages instead of scrolling endlessly. They spend a few minutes planning instead of reacting to everything around them. They choose healthier habits instead of temporary comfort. They practice patience instead of allowing frustration to control them. Each choice seems small, almost invisible. But after 30 days, those small decisions create a completely different person. This is where many people misunderstand success and personal growth. They think successful people have something special that others do not have. They think they were born with more discipline, more confidence, or more opportunities. But often, the difference is simple. They learn to respect the power of small, consistent actions. A river does not carve through stone because it is powerful for 1 second. It changes the landscape because it continues moving every single day. In the same way, your daily choices shape your life because they continue over time. A single good decision may not change everything today, but 1,000 good decisions can change everything tomorrow. Your habits are silently training you. Every action you repeat teaches your mind what kind of person you are. When you constantly delay important things, you train yourself to avoid responsibility. When you constantly give up, you train yourself to expect failure. But when you repeatedly show up, even when it is difficult, you train yourself to become stronger. The person who wakes up early, works on their goals, and stays committed is not successful because they never struggle. They struggle just like everyone else. The difference is that they have built a system of actions that keeps them moving forward even when emotions change. You cannot always control how you feel, but you can control what you do. Some days you will feel inspired. Some days you will feel tired. Some days you will question whether your effort is even making a difference. Those moments are where your character is developed. Anyone can work hard when everything feels easy. Real growth happens when you continue doing what matters even when the excitement fades. The small actions you take during difficult moments often become the foundation of your greatest achievements. A 30-day reset is not about chasing perfection. It is about proving to yourself that you can create a new pattern. Maybe you have spent years believing that you are someone who cannot stay consistent. Maybe you have told yourself that you always quit. Maybe you have allowed your past failures to become your identity. But every day gives you a chance to write a different story. The first few days of change may feel uncomfortable because your old habits will fight to survive. Your mind naturally prefers what is familiar. Even unhealthy routines can feel safe because they are known. But growth requires stepping beyond what is comfortable. When you repeat positive actions long enough, they begin to feel natural. The things that once required effort become part of who you are. Discipline becomes easier because you no longer see it as something you do. You see it as part of your identity. A person who exercises every day is not just someone who works out. They become someone who values their health. A person who learns every day is not just collecting information. They become someone who values growth. A person who keeps promises to themselves becomes someone who trusts themselves. This is the real power of small daily choices. They do not just change your results, they change you. Your life is a reflection of what you repeatedly do. If you want a different future, begin by changing the actions you repeat today. Do not wait for a perfect opportunity. Do not wait until you feel completely ready. Start with one small decision, then another and another. 30 days of small improvements can create momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates courage. And courage allows you to become the person you always believed you could be. The path to a better life is not built by giant steps taken once. It is built by small steps taken every day with purpose. Your future is waiting for the person you choose to become through your daily actions. There is a moment in every person's life when they realize that waiting has become a habit. They keep telling themselves, I will start when the time is right. They wait for more confidence, more money, more energy, more support, or a perfect situation. But the perfect moment rarely arrives because life is always moving. The conditions will never be completely ideal. The person who keeps waiting often discovers that years can pass while they remain in the same place. The greatest changes in life begin when you stop waiting for everything around you to become perfect and start working with what you have right now. The beginning is always imperfect. The first step is usually uncertain. The first attempt is usually uncomfortable. But every successful journey begins with someone deciding that starting is more important than waiting. Many people believe they need motivation before they can take action. They think they must feel inspired, confident, and ready before they begin. But motivation is often created through action, not the other way around. When you take the first step, you create energy. When you see yourself making progress, you create belief. When you keep moving, you create momentum. A person who waits for motivation may wait forever. A person who chooses discipline creates their own motivation through movement. Think about how many dreams have disappeared because someone kept waiting. Someone wanted to write a book, but waited until they had more time. Someone wanted to start a business, but waited until they had no fear. Someone wanted to change their life, but waited until everything became easier. The tragedy is not that they failed. The tragedy is that they never truly began. Your future does not require you to know every answer today. It requires you to be willing to learn along the way. You do not need to see the entire road before taking the next step. You only need enough courage to move forward. A ship does not reach its destination by staying in the harbor. It must leave the safety of the shore. The waves may be difficult, the weather may change, the journey may not go exactly as planned, but movement is what creates progress. The same is true for your life. There will always be reasons to delay. There will always be obstacles. There will always be someone who doubts you. There will always be moments when quitting feels easier than continuing. But every time you choose action over excuses, you strengthen yourself. The biggest enemy of progress is often not failure. It is hesitation. Failure teaches you. Failure gives you information. Failure shows you what needs improvement. But hesitation keeps you trapped in the same place because it prevents you from discovering what you are capable of. Many people are afraid to begin because they are afraid of not being perfect. They compare their first step to someone else's final achievement. They look at another person's success and forget that everyone started as a beginner. Every expert was once inexperienced. Every confident person was once uncertain. Every successful person once faced a moment where they had to choose between fear and action. The difference is they moved. A 30-day reset is powerful because it removes the pressure of needing to change everything forever. You do not need to promise yourself that you will be perfect for the rest of your life. You only need to commit to the next 30 days. 30 days of showing up. 30 days of choosing progress. 30 days of refusing to return to the habits that keep you stuck. When you focus on the present day, the future becomes easier to build. You stop carrying the weight of everything you need to accomplish and start focusing on the one thing you can control, your next action. Your life changes when your daily choices change. You cannot control every circumstance, but you can control your response. You cannot control what happened yesterday, but you can decide what you do today. The past has already written its chapter, but the next chapter is still empty. Do not let fear write it for you. Too many people underestimate themselves because they remember every mistake they made, but forget every challenge they overcame. They focus on where they failed instead of noticing how much strength they have developed. You are stronger than the moments that tried to break you. You are wiser because of the lessons you have learned. You are still here because something inside you still believes there is more ahead. That belief is enough to begin. Stop waiting for the perfect version of yourself to appear. Build that person through action. The confidence you are searching for will not come before you start. It will come because you started. 1 month from now, you will have moved through 30 days, whether you choose growth or not. Time will pass either way. The only question is what you will create during that time. Will you still be waiting? Or will you finally begin? The decision is yours, and the first step is available right now. The greatest journey a person can take is the journey back to themselves. There are moments in life when we feel disconnected from who we truly are. We become distracted by problems, responsibilities, disappointments, and the constant pressure of everyday life. Slowly, without even realizing it, we lose focus. We stop believing in our potential. We stop protecting our time. We stop building the future we once imagined, but the truth is this: you are never too far away from rebuilding yourself. A person does not need to completely change their entire life in one day. They need to begin creating new patterns. They need to reconnect with their purpose, strengthen their discipline, and make decisions that reflect the person they want to become. A powerful reset begins when you stop allowing life to control you and start taking responsibility for the direction you are moving. Discipline is the foundation of personal transformation. Many people misunderstand discipline because they see it as something harsh or restrictive. They think discipline means losing freedom. But true discipline creates freedom. It gives you control over your choices instead of allowing your emotions, distractions, and circumstances to control you. Without discipline, a person becomes a prisoner of their habits. They wake up when they feel like it, work when they feel motivated, and make decisions based on temporary emotions. But emotions change every day. If your life depends only on how you feel, your progress will always be unstable. Discipline creates stability. It means choosing what is important over what is easy. It means keeping promises you make to yourself. It means understanding that your future deserves more attention than your temporary comfort. A person who wants to rebuild their life must first rebuild their relationship with themselves. Every promise you keep strengthens your confidence. Every promise you break weakens your trust in yourself. This is why small daily actions matter so much. When you decide to wake up and complete a task you planned, you send a message to your mind. I can trust myself. When you choose learning instead of wasting hours, you send a message. My future matters. When you continue working, even when it is difficult, you send a message. I am stronger than my excuses. Over time, these messages become your identity. Your identity is not created by what you say you want. It is created by what you repeatedly do. If you want to become a person who is confident, you must practice actions that build confidence. If you want to become successful, you must practice actions that create success. If you want peace, you must practice habits that protect your mind. The person you become in the next year is being shaped by the decisions you make today. A reset also requires controlling your environment. Many people try to change their lives while keeping everything around them exactly the same. They keep the same distractions, the same negative influences, and the same routines that created their struggles. Growth requires awareness. You must ask yourself, is my environment helping the person I want to become, or is it keeping me attached to my old self? Sometimes the biggest change is not adding something new. Sometimes it is removing what has been draining your energy. Remove unnecessary distractions. Remove habits that steal your focus. Remove the thoughts that constantly tell you why you cannot succeed. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you continue to plant will eventually grow. If you plant fear, doubt, and negativity every day, they will become stronger. But if you plant discipline, hope, patience, and purpose, your life begins to change. This does not mean every day will be easy. A reset does not remove challenges. It prepares you to face them differently. A stronger person is not someone who never struggles. A stronger person is someone who has learned how to continue despite struggle. There will be mornings when you do not feel motivated. There will be moments when progress feels slow. There will be times when you question whether your effort matters. Those moments are not signs to stop. Those moments are where transformation happens. Anyone can move forward when everything is comfortable. Real growth happens when you choose to continue during uncomfortable moments. 1 month of discipline can teach you lessons that years of wishing never could. It can show you that you have more control than you thought. It can prove that your past does not have the authority to define your future. You are not required to become a completely different person overnight. You are required to make better choices today. Then repeat them tomorrow. Then repeat them again. Eventually, the person you were trying to become becomes the person you are. A new life is not created by waiting for a rescue. It is created by taking responsibility for your own growth. The power to change your direction has always been within your decisions. 1 month of focus can rebuild your confidence. 1 month of discipline can restore your purpose. 1 month of commitment can remind you of your strength. The road back to yourself begins with one choice. Choose to begin. If this message touched something inside you, do not ignore that feeling. Comment *30 days if you are ready to rebuild yourself. Send this to someone who needs a reason to start again. Your next chapter begins with one decision today.